What's
What's
up,
up,
everybody?
everybody?
How's
Almost.
everybody doing? Welcome back to another live one set podcast. We are here on another Monday night after Raw. We've been doing these the last couple weeks, going into our last little bit of the WrestleMania series that we had. So we've been liking how this has been going, so we're going to keep on doing this. And it's been cool to kind of interact with some people from week to week, and this kind of gets our thoughts out, because sometimes we would just be recording for ourselves and then we would just upload it, but then sometimes we would record maybe a day or two later after Raw and we're like, okay, what happened, what did this happen? So it's cool to kind of be actually doing these things live now, and just to get a lot of this stuff out of the way. If you guys are here for the first time, make sure you guys are subscribing to us at One Set Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe to us right here on YouTube so you can be notified when we go live like we are right now, so you guys can join us in on the chat and let us know what you guys think of the current Raw product. We have a lot going on, and we have not only another pay-per-view coming up. We have Backlash coming not this week, but next week. So it's like we just got off of WrestleMania, and Backlash is like literally 3 weeks later. So, but yeah, Jim, let everybody know where they can hang out with us outside of our episodes.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Green, along with my co-host here, my best friend and my buddy Anthony Irvin. We kind of missed the intros there. It's all good. We were like, let's get this rolling.
It's been a long day, but yeah.
You got a busy weekend coming up with your gig, and I'm sure your brain is kind of all over the place with that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. So if you want to catch us, our big community interactive page is the Facebook group One Set Fam on Facebook. Again, that's the number One Set Fam Housen. Come hang out with us. Let us know your thoughts on everything following WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. I think that they wanted to get this Backlash PLE booked just 3 weeks after Mania, because they were basically going to either continue feuds or things that they had moving on television that didn't necessarily get onto the Backlash card. We have Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins, which apparently Braun Breaker was cleared prior to Mania, and they didn't want to rush the build for the Mania match itself.
Yeah.
I thought that they had an excellent promo tonight, which is like, our friend Brandon was like, that was a great promo after it was done. And I was like, yeah, we've been waiting since October for that. So like,
finally got it in.
Well, the fact that, Seth cracked the back of Braun's head open with the chair last week, and he had to get staples, and you could see the staples in the back of his head tonight. It was like the only engagement that they could really have was non-contact. So like that, the verbal back and forth was good. Like it felt like this was the perfect time to get it. If we get a little bit more of that, and maybe Seth kind of gets the upper hand physically next week, I feel like that would like keep it nice and even going into their match.
Right.
Just obviously this isn't going to be a one-off and then they go different ways. Like I feel like this is just going to carry all the way to SummerSlam probably.
I was going to say, yeah, I think we'll probably get this throughout the summer.
Yeah, or they'll go away from each other and then wind up back, like they'll weave in and out of each other for the until WrestleMania next year.
Yeah,
who knows? Yeah, so let's just talk about I guess like the elephant in the room. And I know this was big news. By the time that this is like this episode comes out, it will be like a week old news about the releases, right? Like, but
right.
Our last recording, they weren't talked about. So laundry list of names gets released like Friday, right before SmackDown. Unusual timing.
I
It was
heard
kind of
there was
like
a lot of people saying like usually around this time after WrestleMania there was going to be there's usually like your long list of releases. So uh, didn't think it was going to happen this quick, but yeah, it was just started seeing the postings about it, and then really didn't get into it until maybe closer to the late afternoon, early evening, like you said before SmackDown. But yeah, just some of the names I was kind of surprised. Some of the names I'm like, all right, well that's understandable.
I think I was teaching because like I started at 4:45. I at like 4:45 on Friday, and I think you were messaging me.
Hmm.
Uh, well, uh, Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy is gone, and then like just like one after another, and now they're all gone. And
Yeah, because
I
Jen actually showed me that Nikki Cross said something on X saying like thank you WWE fans and blah blah. I'm like, and she's like she must be done. I'm like, there hasn't been an actual official report about it, but never know. Maybe she just asked for her own thing because wasn't really doing much with the Wyatt Six anyway, other than just being a prop for them. But
sure.
then saw the Bo Dallas thing. I'm like, this is they're all releases, and you know I know a lot of people are kind of on the defensive end about the Wyatt Six getting released. This time around, I mean, I'm okay with it because I think going into it, like we said, they were on borrowed time. I don't think this is going to be a very long year and year out type of thing for them. It was just enough for Bo to give uh, enough to say that he did something for his brother, Bray Wyatt, and then they were just going to ride off into the sunset. So, I mean, they had the tag team belts. I don't think we really needed to see Bo Dallas in the main card or winning a very big championship or anything. But I think at least just having them be in the tag team title picture, and having some cool wins and stuff like that. I mean, it's that really didn't spark too much on me. I'm okay with the release there. The one that really shocked me was Aleister Black and Zelina because they were just. I mean, Aleister Black just got back into WWE within the last 6 months, and now he's released again. But they really didn't do much with him. If you really put it straight, I mean, there wasn't that much going on for him.
I thought that they were like planting the seeds to make him become like he he went over like he pinned Randy Orton and somebody else like in the I think it was Drew McIntyre, maybe even I don't. It might not have been true, but it was like two of the upper mid card slash main event guys that they had Aleister Black go over, and I was like, okay, they're doing they're doing something with him,
Right.
right?
Er.
it's it's funny because like Cheyenne had kept saying like once they put Zelina Vega with Alistair, she was like, "How do you think Karrion Cross and Scarlett feel about this?"
I
And
was just gonna say they literally just gave them like the carrying cross and that type of treatment. Like, yeah, just do this, do that, and then we're releasing you. Yeah,
they
carrying cross
literally
is just
felt
like sitting at home, like, I knew that would happen.
well they fell into the blueprint of like, okay, how are we going to get these guys out of here? Let's put them together, and it's
Yeah,
not going to work. I I liked them,
I
but
thought
like
it was great. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, outside of them actually being a couple, uh, even if I wouldn't if I took that out and didn't know that they were a couple, I would have thought they had good screen,
chemistry, yeah.
chemistry together and everything. So, and it kind of helps Alistair, even though didn't really need it, but it was something to give a little bit more pizzazz to it. But yeah, you know, unless him and Zelina go to AEW or something, or just kind of continue to go on the indies. I know Zelina's a big Twitch person, so she was kind of giving her angles on Twitch that day. So
Yeah, I mean, she was on Twitch when she found out she got
right,
released, and she found out from like a Sean Ross Sapp post, like just like on Twitter before getting like an official anything from WWE themselves. So I'm like, yeah, that stings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like the Wyatts, it's unfortunate because I think that there were health issues with Bo and maybe even Dexter that like they had so many patchy on and off screen, like they just lost all of their momentum from not being featured regularly. And I think I think as of maybe 4 to 6 months ago, I was just like, I think you and I were both like, okay, now we're never, and
Yeah.
it just never picked up steam. Like their vignettes were always good. I was always like, okay, this is the best of stuff, but like in the ring, not compelling, which
Yeah.
is just, I mean, like Bray Wyatt's thing, all of his stuff outside of the ring. And I don't think he was bad in the ring, but everything he did that wasn't wrestling was what made him him. So like
For sure.
it it fit, but like I feel like they had the five of them to manage, and really it was just Bo Dallas doing the Uncle Howdy's like shtick in the promo work, and the other four of them were just like standing there, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was yeah, it was definitely obviously Bo leading everything. Uh, but I don't think we expected like so much more out of what they were doing. What they were doing was fine with me, and what was expected. So, you
yeah,
know,
I think it would have made sense to release the other four and
right.
just keep Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy and maybe try to go on like a side quest solo adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I guess he was just wrapping up the solo adventure with Solo Sokoa.
Yeah, literally.
But literally so stupid. But
Stupid.
like my biggest gripe about these releases is definitely Kyrie Sane. I mean, she was
Yeah.
dead smack in the middle of breaking away from Asuka, and now on Monday Night Raw tonight, they had Io Sky challenge Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title, and in my head immediately, I'm like, they're gonna let Io Sky win here because they just let Tiffany Stratton get the women's US title on SmackDown. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is their consolation for not getting a match on the Mania card. Tiffany, here's the women's US title. Io, here's the women's IC title. And I was like, okay, I don't think it's right that they weren't on the card, but sure,
Right.
whatever. But then they had Asuka come out and basically cost Io the match with Becky tonight, and then they had Asuka do this like backstage vignette, and like I didn't even have like I had it muted because I was watching a Flyers game, and even just seeing in her face how awkward she felt because you could just tell that she was agitated, that she was having to pivot from what they had been doing with Kyrie this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting this match at Backlash, and it's like I feel like they're both just gonna channel their inner professionalism and say, we're doing the match. We're grateful that we have the opportunity to get to work together. Let's get through this match and then maybe hopefully move on to something else. And maybe hopefully like the release of Kyrie will like we'll have digested it a little bit better rather than like it just happened on Friday. It's Monday. They must have filmed that vignette either earlier at some point this weekend. Asuka's probably still not thrilled about it, right?
Right.
So
I mean, if they really want to pay off something and give the fans what they want,
they'll
they
do the
you
R
just
Truth thing and just bring her back.
just bring her back
Yeah.
and just act like it's gonna be Io versus Asuka. We get at Backlash. we
At
get
Backlash.
at Backlash. we get Kyrie back, and that would just be the pop of the century. Just everybody seeing that. That would be a big payoff for that because yeah, Io beating Asuka is what you want to see, but you know people would bet so much more money on WWE just rehiring Kyrie for this to have her finally get her moment on Asuka.
I mean, I think that is like what we would all hope, and maybe the Kyrie Sane release was just to throw the fans,
Yeah.
and they actually just have her tucked in the background, like, oh yeah, she's gonna make noise at Backlash, and everyone's gonna lose their mind. Like that would not surprise me. It's not something I've even thought about until like us chatting about it right now. But
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, I mean that's just knowing that they've done it with R-Truth. No reason why they can't do it with Kyrie. I mean, it's obviously the fans can speak numbers, and when they see something like that, they have to kind of capitalize off that. So I think if the internet world speaks enough that they want Kyrie back, I mean that they'll try to do it.
I think the crowd in Laredo, Texas tonight was like they were chanting "We want Kyrie," but I wanted it to be like it needed to be louder for
Yeah,
it to
for
have
sure.
to have. I mean, the R-Truth stuff was really loud when that was happening.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I mean, it was on a different spectrum for sure.
So they do these releases after Mania every year. I like wasn't even prepared for it. Like it wasn't even a thought in my mind. Like, oh, they're gonna let people go. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like all of the Mania hype. Like I forget that they do that. Like right after Mania every year, it's crazy. Like we're longtime fans, and like it's been a thing.
Yeah, you're kind of
Um,
off the hype of everything, and then it's hard to kind of think, oh well, okay, they're just gonna release everybody off this hype. So, uh, yeah, you tend to forget it kind of starts happening around this time. Then I'm hearing, they're gonna have another line of releases coming soon. So just
yeah,
more quote unquote budget cuts, but we'll see.
yeah. That sounds more like weeding out some of the NXT, like the people who just aren't like they just don't see any real potential, and they'll drop them. There is a list of
You
them.
you did
I
see the what was it LFG or LTG uh, lady from NXT that won the LTG tournament. She got released
LFG.
too. Yeah, LFG. So she got released too.
Who's that? The Tyra May.
I believe so. Yeah, the Olympic girl.
Yeah, I knew that she did, but that was not with this batch of releases. That was like that had happened. I'm pretty
They had
sure.
her name in there. So unless they just finally put it out there.
Uh, yeah, they must have just like thrown that in there with the mix of this all. Okay, that's fine. I had read that was a thing like a month or 6 weeks ago.
Uh huh.
Um, I will say they released Zoe Stark, who blew her knee out months ago.
Yeah.
So
So
I
I
was
mean.
like, okay, they released Bronson Reed when he was injured. Like
Mm-hmm.
they they could bring her back eventually. Maybe they just won't. Um,
Yeah, because why sit on the payroll when you're going to be out for another year at least, probably.
yeah, I mean, they released Alba Fire, who was like, um, Alba Fire was with Chelsea Green, right?
Yes.
All right, they're probably like Chelsea will be fine on her own kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially because Piper Niven got injured. So like the three of them worked really good together, and then once Piper Niven got injured, they were just like, okay, Alba's just there.
And then there's been spec that Piper Nevin might be done. I heard so.
I heard her injury is pretty bad that it might just keep her, like, she might be in that next batch of releases for all we know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Who knows? Hopefully, Damian Priest is in there too. But I digress.
I don't think that's happening, although
I don't think so either.
I would be perfectly fine with it.
Same.
um, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they can't split up Truth with the tag belts right now. I will at least give him that's the only thing holding Damien back or holding him in the company right now. So
yeah,
if I get to see Truth more, I'm happy with it. It's fine.
yep. Um, I will say, like Apollo Cruz, I am surprised that he had been kept around as long as he did.
Yeah, because he went back down to NXT, was working a lot, got back up to the main roster, and he was on TV for maybe 2 weeks, and then just got off again, and didn't really see
I
him at all.
I I just think that he has in ring talent, but probably no really good in ring chemistry with other people, right? So it's just kind of like, okay, what are we doing here? We see
That and marketability. It's always, you can be a great wrestler, but if you're not marketable in that type of business, there's not much you can do. The talent can only bring you so much
and
success.
same deal with Santos Escobar. I mean, the guy was
Hmm.
good in the ring, but like
Didn't
he hit a ceiling, and it was like, yeah,
Yeah, there was only
that's
so much that uh, you can say and do. You know, yeah, because
just
this is
like,
the thing. Like you can be the most talented, but if you don't have the full package, it's not going to work out.
hate to say it, but like, just be a rock star in AAA. Like, that's totally fine too.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so they do these releases, and they have to make room for the call ups from NXT, right? So we already talked last Monday about who was on last Monday Night Raw. So this last Friday, the big takeaway here was JC Jane and um, Fatal Influence.
Fatal
Is
influence. That was the faction I was thinking of.
Yep,
Yeah.
they immediately had the three of them go in on the tag match with Charlexa and then Bailey Valkyria, right?
Hmm.
Um, Bailey Valkyria. um, was it bit? Yeah, it was Bailey Valkyria, right?
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
yeah, because then the three of them just took out all four of them,
Hmm.
and then Rhea
Which
Ripley
was a
came
hell
out.
of a debut to kind of get into. So they definitely set their mark there, which was
It
fine.
instant heat, immediate heat, and then they had Rhea Ripley come out to cut the promo, and we're all thinking, okay, Jade's probably going to come out. Nope, we got Jason
They
Jane
come back out too.
again.
Hmm.
Um, apparently, apparently, I'd read that Jade Cargill requested off for that night of SmackDown, like way out in advance. Don't like take it with a grain of salt, kind of thing.
Hmm.
But um, yeah, sure, have the night off. We enjoyed SmackDown without you.
Right. Yeah.
It was good to keep her off for this one. I was a little bit surprised no Randy Orton on SmackDown.
Hmm.
Everything that I've read, like since our last recording, was Randy Orton was supposed to win that match at WrestleMania, and
That's what I was hearing too.
apparently Pat McAfee like bailed out on the angle early. Basically, was like, I'll do the job for WrestleMania, but like I'm not really feeling this kind of heat from the crowd. Like I'm a people person. Everything I do with like my podcast, I am a people person. This whole me being a heel thing just doesn't
Yeah.
suit me.
Can't be a
Get me
bad
out
guy
of
on the
here.
Pat McAfee show for too long. That's just not good for his type of ratings. So
Yeah, yeah.
plus
Just
when you have to kind of you know keep kayfabe alive, as what they say. So it's like you can't be happy go lucky on the podcast and then go on SmackDown and just crap on the audience all night.
yeah. Um, apparently there was a lot of chaos backstage with creative, with having to pivot because everything was supposed to be Randy Orton winning. Um, and then they kept it on Cody, which I guess is why they had the Cody Punk thing on Monday Night Raw, and then they had Cody come out alone on SmackDown. And it's very like, okay, Cody's coming out and he's not smiling anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's being really stoic. I'm fine with it because it's not the same Smiley McGee all the time.
Right.
Um, but at any rate, JC Jane got the perfect debut heat. Like one of the best that I've seen in a
Yeah.
long time.
Anytime an NXT, person or faction, anything comes up to the main roster and has a debut like that, or just really takes it off the mat, I'm all for it. So it's good that they were put in that limelight to just take the four probably biggest SmackDown women and just take them out in one show. Really
and then
shows that they're putting a
and,
lot of trust into them.
and then put the three of them with Rhea Ripley right away.
Yeah,
And
so definitely shows a lot of trust, and they want to put something into this faction and really do some damage with them.
yeah. So I guess the other takeaway from SmackDown was Chica Fatu and the Usos, and then Solo Sikoa came out, and I was like, okay, they got a family affair going on. And then they
Mm-hmm.
set up for Chica Fatu versus Solo, and I was like, Solo's just going to job to the bloodline forever at this point. Like,
Pretty
there's
much, yeah.
no Talatanga. They're all wearing the shirts with the five of them. But then, what did they do? They showed a group graphic of MFT with no Talatanga, and I was like, okay, this guy's getting released. So wouldn't be surprised if the next batch of releases he's out, because they're probably just like, there's way too many of you. It's like, we don't like your faction isn't doing, like, doesn't want, like, you guys just aren't getting it done.
It's
Like,
weak sauce.
it is, and I mean, the Wyatt Six with the five of them, like, kind of the same deal, and that's probably
Yeah.
why they stray away from doing factions with more than three.
More than three people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to Raw real quick.
Yeah.
We had this vignette opening with Roman and Usos. I didn't really hear it. I was just like, okay, we'll see how this pans out later tonight. Seth Rollins comes out, starts talking about all of the places that he's supposed to be right now, and he's not there because of Braun Breaker.
Mm-hmm.
And then Braun comes out, and they have a really nice promo. We chatted about that already.
Yeah. I thought it was a good thing for them, like, not to really reiterate what we just said, but definitely thought it was a good way for them to introduce and spark everything that they needed to do, since this was supposed to be a Mania thing for them, but kind of just remind people, okay, this is what happened the last time that we were supposed to get this stuff. So at least they're getting their first taste of everything at Backlash, and, definitely, like we said, definitely think this goes into the summer, possibly even into sometime next year. Maybe at SummerSlam they call it a little bit, they go their separate ways, but it gets met back up later down
with the
the
title.
road with a title or something,
Yep.
So we'll
totally
soon
see
see
that.
something like that. But yeah, definitely getting their first dibs at Backlash is going to be nice.
They did Penta versus Rusev, and I was like, okay, this is just gonna segue to get us to set us up for the fatal four-way match for the IC title with Ethan Page and Javon Evans. It certainly seems like they're gonna do Ethan Page and Rusev versus Penta and Javon next week. I'm sure
Sounds
Rusev and Ethan Page are gonna have quarrels, and then I feel like Javon is going to accidentally hit Penta, and he's going to be like, man, what was that for? And then it's like, oh, we better do a fatal four-way now, I guess.
yeah,
So
something like that will take place.
Totally fine.
Good.
The uh, Becky comes out, didn't really listen to her promo again, had the Flyers game on, and then she starts with the open challenge deal. Io Sky comes out, and Becky's kind of trying to talk her way out of it. Adam Pearce comes out and is like, "Yeah, no, this is happening." And like I said,
It's official.
yeah, I thought that Io Sky was going to win here just because Tiffany Stratton won on SmackDown. Asuka, we talked about that already.
Hmm.
Joe Hendry has his debut. Apparently, the song was "Fire Logan Paul." That's a
Yeah.
good way to get like instant crowd engagement. And then out comes Logan and Theory, and then out comes the Street Profits, and then backstage they show the Profits with Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry walks off, and then up comes Seth to try to be
Seth.
like, "Hey, guy," and they're like, "This ain't about you, dog. We're doing this because we want the tag
We
titles."
want the tag titles, which I'm good.
Basically,
Gives them
basically
their
just
time to just do what they need to do. They don't need anybody's help. Their mind is on getting those tag titles back, and I'm all for it. That's a good way for them to continue doing what they're doing because they definitely don't need Seth.
yeah, just basically reiterating Braun Breaker telling Seth earlier, you don't have any friends, because the whole thing was let's turn Seth heel, align him with Paul Heyman, build the faction, and then the faction was together like 4 months,
Yep, something like
or
that.
like maybe 6, and yeah, I think they pulled the audible on the turn because Rollins was injured, and that was their way of writing him off TV.
Hmm.
So now they're just kind of segueing their way back into the feud and trying to make it work. But I think originally when Seth and Braun split, Braun was probably supposed to be a babyface, if I had to guess. So now, because Seth was out and injured, Seth returned. He's pretty much a face again, which like
Yeah.
face face Seth Rollins is kind of like, I mean, he was only a heel for 6 months from
Hmm.
WrestleMania 41 in April until he got taken out in October. So like
Yeah.
there were more legs for him to do that heel run, and they had, I mean, Seth won the world heavyweight title at SummerSlam, and they had him feuding with like 7 or 8 different people, and it was like, this is wild stuff. But it's just crazy to see them try to make the vision relevant again because they got so derailed, right?
Hmm.
Um, we had Ludwig Americano against Rey Mysterio. This was just to promote the mask versus mask match, which is
Basketball match.
fine.
Yep.
And you got Rey Mysterio in a singles match on Monday Night Raw in 2026. Like,
Can't
still,
can't be mad about that.
still a treat, dude.
Yep. Don't know how he does it, but yeah, definitely something special because, like we've said millions of times, we don't know how much longer we're gonna get Rey Mysterio in that ring. So, anytime we can see him is awesome.
I would not be surprised if he retired by the end of this year.
Right?
Um, Maybe WrestleMania next year. I don't know if he goes another year is the thing, right?
Could be. Yeah.
We got Obafemi versus Grayson Waller here, and uh, Cheyenne's like, he can't face this guy. He's gonna cry. I was like, they can't put Obafemi with anybody significant because he beat Brock Lesnar in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Like,
That, and he said it right in his promo. All the main roster people are in their connections. They have everything else. There's no like line of
everybody's tied up
connection.
with their titles and their feuds already.
So Oba's just there. So I think that was a good idea for him to just do an open challenge. Anybody that comes out, which is going to have to be some pretty decent people in the next couple weeks, for him to just start demolishing people, and then that just sparks once something opens, he can just go right in. But
Well,
they just
it's
need to try to keep him on TV to keep him in some type of relevancy if he's going to eventually slip up into that main card again.
Well, and it's it's the best way to give him just random one-off matches where they
Yep.
don't have to manifest into feuds, right?
Yep.
So
For sure.
I thought that was brilliant. Like whoever came up with that idea, kudos to you. Um, welcome back, Roxanne. Right. So they had Finn Balor slide in to the Judgment Day's backstage area to kind of chat Roxanne. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, whoa, this crowd really loves Roxanne. And I was like, didn't realize she was from Laredo.
There you
So
go.
literally hometown girl in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I actually was like getting my stuff ready for tomorrow and dipped out on that because I was like, anything of substance, like I'll get filled in on it. Was there anything like, did you catch that part?
The backstage with Finn and Roxanne, or
No, um, it was literally Bailey and Lyra Valkyria against Roxanne
I
and
saw a little bit of the
Raquel.
match here and there. Yeah. Again, it wasn't anything of substance to be like, oh, if you missed it, not like you really missed anything important. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. Was there something at the end, or
Any Liv or Stephanie at the end because they did ambush Stephanie backstage
they
and
did?
basically
Yeah, I did see that part. So they at least got the revenge on Stephanie. So you're obviously probably gonna get a rematch with Liv and Steph. Maybe not at Backlash, but at some point. So they'll probably write Stephanie off for another. So knowing that, they probably won't have a Backlash match, but you know, they could have Roxanne and
Raquel.
Raquel do something. Stephanie comes out because Liv's going to be very close to them right now. So whenever she's vulnerable like that, Steph will probably eventually get on her again. So maybe we wait until
After Backlash.
after Backlash. Forget Extreme Rules. That's before WrestleMania. That we're getting Money in the Bank. There's one before it though.
Money in the Bank is in September this year.
So they moved it. Okay.
So they're doing Night of Champions in Saudi in June, at the end of June.
So
And
then there you
that's
go. That's Night of
that
Champions. So then we'll get it
that
there. We'll get it there most likely.
and that's when we're getting our King of the Ring tournament too, to
I thought
determine.
Oba was going to be instead of the Open Challenge. I thought he was going to say King of the Ring.
Yeah, me too. And I was like, are they really going to do that like before Backlash? Probably not, but who knows?
That would I will agree. I think you were the one that said last week it would be nice to see Oba getting the King of the Ring into the tournament and winning it. That would keep him in some relevancy. So maybe we can, keep that in the back pocket as we get closer to that, and see if that kind of comes to fruition.
Yeah. Um, Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns in the main event segment. I I did not see this going any other way but setting up for their match at Backlash. Like
Yeah,
I could, so Roman was just telling Jacob like, you're not ready, like, and then
you'll see.
yeah, Jacob does this Jedi chokehold on Roman Reigns. It just goes straight for the jugular.
Straight for the jugular. Sounded just
Yeah.
like Mick Foley, like hi yeah.
Yeah.
If you like close your eyes, you might have thought it was Mick Foley in the ring.
Oh my god. Yeah, so now we're gonna get the match. It's gonna be super interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, don't see Jacob beating Roman at this point, but I think it'll be a decent match.
Yeah.
Still think we got room for eventually, you know, Jey Uso beating Roman, because that was my original term of if they want to dethrone Roman and get this whole bloodline thing to wrap up in some type of way. I think the biggest thing is if they want to eventually give Jay another chance, they need to take Jay and get him to dethrone Roman off of that belt and just not even just being the head of the table or anything of that, but just Jay has to eventually be the one to take down Roman.
Yeah, I
If
wouldn't
they
hate it.
want to keep him in that type of light to be like, okay, you're the next guy after Roman.
Yeah, or they do something crazy and have LA Knight beat him.
I mean, at this point, it's like they're just gonna
The
keep
the
on having
the,
him just be the talk piece for everything and just not give him anything.
the ship has sailed for LA Knight for me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, literally, yeah,
yeah,
literally. I mean,
just like no enthusiasm behind it, but just
yeah,
like,
right, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. I agree though. It's like I love seeing LA Knight, but they definitely just dodged putting the belt on him like 2-3 years ago.
well, the big problem there, Anthony, was Roman Reigns' 1,300 and like 1,316-day title reign that did
Yeah,
no favors for putting the belt and elevating a handful of guys
either
along the way.
nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
yeah, because even then you couldn't even really think of who was the proper person to dethrone him anyway. But then here comes Cody Rhodes. But you know,
and they were like, we don't want to do it at WrestleMania 39. It'll go over so much better if it's next year, which means Roman has to hold that title hostage for another 365. It's like, oh my
perfect. Book
god.
it.
Yeah, it's great.
That's great. Yeah.
Um,
And here we are.
uh, before next Monday, because next Monday we're going to be predicting
Yeah, we'll
the
definitely
outcomes.
have our predictions for
Just
Backlash next week.
just early as of this point, I don't know who wins between Braun and Seth because like you would think, okay, Braun's back, he's got to win.
Right.
Um, but also Seth Rollins just lost to Gunther because of Braun Breaker, so it's like, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah, 'cause they're
maybe.
essentially both coming back from an injury, so it's like who gets the upper hand. I think next week will, depending on how they take it next week, will give a better option of who's going to probably win the match, depending on
Yeah,
either who gets the upper hand or the way that it's being taken, whether they feel it's going to be, in the favor of Seth or the favor of Braun. Uh, yeah, I mean, if I'm going to guess right now, yeah, it's like 50-50. I mean, I don't know. They can go either way right now.
I I gotta go with they're not gonna let Braun Breaker eat a pin because they're trying to like build him up pretty strong. Wouldn't be surprised if Gunther got involved again and just like
Yeah,
took out Seth, and that's what caused him to eat the pin.
it's probably
But
too soon for Bronson Reed to come back because I was saying unless you just have Bronson Reed coming back, but I think it's too soon for that.
I mean, if Logan Paul and Austin Theory aren't doing anything with the Street Profits on the card, you have Logan Paul and Austin Theory to come in to help Braun Breaker. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see Braun Breaker eating a pin for the sake of Seth Rollins winning. Like that just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense to me.
there has to be like
Um,
some disqualification or some interruption for that to kind of go down.
because the feud must continue,
It's
right?
got to continue. Yeah.
Um, Io and Oscar, like, yeah, of course we all want to see Io win, but like, would not be surprised if they said, yeah, no, Oscar's going to win this one because we just let go of her friend Kyrie.
Right.
Um,
And I think that's another one that can go more than one match as well, for sure.
yeah. And also, Io Sky is without Rhea Ripley. She's on her own, so like she could eat a loss, I guess. They
Mm,
they had her lose to Julia. I think, a
I
couple
think
weeks
so.
back. Um, yeah,
Sounds about right.
they had Io get pinned clean like on a Raw and a SmackDown in the same week. And I was like, what are they doing here? Sky here. She's not going to WrestleMania. Okay. Um,
Girl, bye.
girl, bye. Anth, anything else before we get out of here? I know we both need to like get crashing soon and
Yeah, even
uh
then, I mean, our last couple have been pretty long, and we just wanted to kind of, do a regular Raw reaction and go over the releases and kind of start speculating on the Backlash, matches that are coming out that were announced tonight. But yeah, next week we'll have the full card, and even after Raw, because I'm sure there'll be another couple matches that'll come from it. So we'll be here to give our predictions for Backlash, and do some more reactions from Raw. So with that said, make sure you guys once again are following us on socials at One Set Pod on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you guys are getting notified when we go live every Monday for our live uh, broadcasts. And you guys can chat with us live as we're talking. And Jim, let us know, or let everybody know where they can hang out with us outside of our episodes.
that's the Facebook group One Set Fam. Again, that is the Facebook group, the number Juan Set
Juan.
Fam. Juan Set
It
Fam.
takes Juan to
It
know
takes
Juan.
Juan. One Set Fam. Facebook.com/. One Set Pod. One Set Fam. Who knows? I don't think we have a backslash. Anyway, just bomb. Okay. Anth, I love you, brother. To everyone who tuned in, all the love to you. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of One Set.
We'll see y'all next week.